This is an Action News Brief with Brent Cox.
Hello. Today on Action News, we are investigating a topic that has been the cause of much controversy. This topic was covered briefly by Loki's review of Silent Hill Origins some months ago, but we decided to look deeper. The topic at hand is a consistent replication of the populace of Hyrule. As Loki mentioned before, as the barely there chronology of Hyrule progresses, there are unmistakable repetitions in the genealogy of the Hylians. As the adventures of the many Links progressed, the appearances of the subsequent generations of Hylians seem to be drastically unchanged. This footage taken from centuries past in Hyrule's younger days shows the personages of the then Link and Zelda being virtually identical to those of Link and Zelda at least a century later. This throws some suspicion on the procreation practices used by the royal family of Hyrule from then to now. Notice also that people that would appear to be unfamiliar to Link in this older period and in the more recent past also creates reasonable evidence that Hylians are in fact massively active inbreeders. From generation to generation, the populace of Hyrule seems to be looking exactly the same. This would also explain why the population of Hyrule seems to remain so small in numbers. Normal genetic development, with interaction of multiple genetic bloodlines of no immediate relation, would serve to counteract this homogeny. Another factor investigation found to support this finding. There have been detractors that have found the fact that no Link is ever actually speaking to be a point of humor. The sad truth that is being severely overlooked is, no one in Hyrule actually speaks. Speaking involves forming coherent words of an actual language. Yet every person in Hyrule never forms coherent vocal expressions. The only auditory communication consists of going, Last I knew, that wasn't talking. As this further footage taken from Hyrule will attest. If one pays attention in particular to the degradation of further generations of Link, one will notice a noticeable lack of functional motor skills. If the popular hypothesis is true, where the Link and Zelda of each generation hook it up and get funky, then the next generation of Link and Zelda would be brother and sister. As each quest ensues, and the next incarnations form carnal relations, each would be subsequently fornicating with their own sibling, time and time again over the centuries. Which would certainly explain the spiking drop of intelligence among the Hylians, creating a race composed entirely of the mentally retarded. But as this footage is also evidenced, there appears to be an alternate form of communication in place for the Hylians, in the form of hovering text that somehow comes into place when two Hylians share company. Have they developed some sort of telepathic ability that broadcasts their thoughts without speaking them aloud? This is doubtful, since the sounds made by the Hylians do not appear to be an attempt at language, but merely repeated emotional outbursts. Also, these translations of sorts have been known to appear in the speaker, and the speaker is making no sound at all, or even moving much, so there would be nothing to translate. Also, if the mysterious word plate was a result of telepathic communication, why do these plates of psychic text always appear behind them where they cannot be read? It seems ineffective, especially since a race that can't form words would not be able to read them. So what are they? The prevalent thought among anthropologists studying the Hylian people is that the mysterious word plates are the inventions of the Minish people, a tiny race of beings most Hylians do not know exist. They gain their pleasure from crafting things and implementing them into the Hylian lifestyle. Anthropologists surmise that since the sounds of the Hylians are not attempts at rational communication, the translations of sorts are no more than a joke by the Minish done for their own amusement. They translate the primal sounds generated by the Hylians into whatever they wish, as a private joke amongst themselves, or perhaps to cause strife. Their motives are unclear. Whatever their intentions, I wish to welcome the Hyrulean public as our viewers and address them by saying,
This has been an Action News Brief with